How do you... No. These things are always the worst. Ah. Wait. Oh. Wait. What is happening, guys? My name is Quentin Lesser and welcome to my video. Hey, before we get into it, I just want to say, hope you guys are having a good day. Whether you're waking up or you're going to bed, whatever you're doing today, I hope that it's going to be productive, has been productive. And hey, if you didn't have a good day, I hope this video is going to make you smile. I hope you're going to enjoy it and take something away from it. Learn, what is a good video light to use. So anyway, let's get into it. We are going to talk about the Interfit Studio Essentials 100 watt LED Monolight. Hey, I would like to say before we really dive in that thank you, Interfit Photo, for sending this to me. I actually had done a lot of research because I'm not quite to the level where I can afford something like an Aperture 120D, something like that, and I had done a lot of research on lights that I wanted because honestly I really like these style of lights. The COB LEDs are powerful, they have the dimmers, which I really like, and they're just great lights when you can put a nice softbox on them. And so I'd done a lot of research, and I came across these lights. There's not a lot of reviews, and so I took a risk. I emailed Studio Essentials, Interfit Photo, and I said, hey, you know what? Why don't you send me these? I'll do a full review on them. I'll review them on your website, and you can use my video for marketing as long as I get a chance to test out these lights and see if I really like them. They said yes. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I am really stoked to be able to be using these and to test them out and see how good of an output they really have. So anyway, let's get into it. We are going to be talking about 3 things that make this light good or bad in terms of how the light works. So let's get into the first thing, quality. When I opened the box for these lights, I was blown away. I mean, they feel good. You know that feeling you get when you're holding on to something that's got that cold metal feel and you're like, dang, like that feels good in my hands. That was meant to be in my hands. That's how I feel when I hold this light. It's got a nice handle to it. You know that when you hold onto this, it's not gonna fall, it's not gonna slip. It's got that great feel. It's a nice sturdy metal. It's really built well. And it's just a fantastic light. It's got a dimmer, so you can go from 0 to 100. And honestly, when I was shooting with it, I was staying around that 20 to 30 range. It's a really bright light, and that's great. But 100 is too blown out for a lot of the stuff I'm doing. So I'm sticking around that 20 to 30 range to really get a nice, soft shadow that I really just, that's what I was going for. So fantastic quality, but we'll get into that more with the output in a little bit. And I have to say, they really take care of you when they send you these lights. It's got this nice cap, which I know most lights do, but it's just something to mention. The pack that you get if you buy the kit comes with 2 stands, comes with 2 soft boxes, comes with the cord, comes with 2 lights. And I have to admit, and I know most of you are gonna be like, okay, it's a cord, who cares? But to someone who has to have a cord, this thing is long. Like, it's a long cord. And that's great because I've been on shoots where I've had lights that are like, the cord's this big, and you're like, what? Why even give me a cord? Like, what's the point? Another part of the quality that's really great is the flicker-free dimmer, right? So you can go from 100 to 0, which kind of makes sense. But it's really nice to have that because most times when I'm doing videos with this light that I've been using, which is actually this light right here, the light that I'm lighting this video with is the Studio Essentials 100 Monolight. It's a fantastic light and I love it. And so I'm sitting at about 30 right now. That's the ideal number for me. 25 to 30, that's where I was taking my pictures at. That's where I was doing my videos at. It's got soft look to it with the softbox on, and it really spreads out that light really well. I will say though, the fact is there are times that it flickers. So it's advertised to be flicker free, and for the most part, when you go from 0 to 100, it's really great. but sometimes it kind of like flickers when you go really quickly or you go down really quickly. So that is something to keep in mind, that if you're during the middle of a shoot, don't crank it or don't drop it all the way, because you'll run into problems where you'll see the flicker, especially if you're in slow motion. You don't want that because the flicker is much more noticeable when you're doing that buttery slow-mo. Moving on with the quality, let's make sure to talk about some of the stuff that comes with it. First, we're gonna talk about the Softbox. This thing is okay. It's not my favorite, right? It looks like this. Hello! And it's a nice softbox. It's small and it folds into each other, and then you can fold it up kind of like that. I'm not even gonna, nope, not even trying again. And then it comes with diffusing sheets. So it has one that goes on the inside that helps to spread that out a little bit. And I will mention that it comes with these clips. So these clips are not great. I was having troubles with it because you have to put them on these elastic loops, and it's a pain in the butt. And if you're all about trying to just run and gun, get it set up, go, that's not going to work. You're going to be frustrated just like I was. So what I did was I actually used some paper clips, and I tied the paper clips to the metal clips and then used those, and it expedited the process, made it really quick, and that was good. So if you do get these lights, keep that in mind, that when you have to put that on, it's another problem. The second piece of paper, this one here, annoys the crap out of me. So it's great. I mean, it really helps to really diffuse the light, but it has this super annoying Velcro that, like, look. Like, no, I don't, no, stop it. That's not gonna work for me. So I started using those, and I was like, eh. And the major issue with it, the major issue with the quality of the Softbox, doesn't really have to do with the diffusers or the box itself, but it actually has to do with the fact that it's a square. And when it diffuses it, you don't notice it near as much. But when you have an octagonal softbox, it kind of rounds out that light a little more. And the deeper it is, the more it diffuses, right? So if it's rounded, it kind of blurs those corners. But when you have a box, it makes those stand out. And I will say something nice about the Softbox is the fact that because it's a little shallower, it's not as long, you have more light going through quicker, and so it's brighter. And so at 30, if I had the Softbox on that came with it, it'd be much brighter, so you'd have to crank it down even lower. So instead of using the Softbox that came with it, I actually bought a different Softbox by Newer. Anyway, I bought that, and it's really great. It runs about $70. It's really deep, so it diffuses well. It's actually what I'm using now, and it has a great output. I will say one of the problem is you have to use the rods that come with it, and to set it up, take it apart, it's a pain in the butt. So just leave it up if you can. But it really does diffuse the light a little better. It's octagonal, so it rounds out that light a lot better, and so I really have enjoyed that. Another part of the quality that is really important are the stands. The stands are also okay, right? So the thing to brag about are the lights, but the other accessories are not as great. So if you have more high quality, heavy duty stands, I would recommend using those, just because the stands that come with it are not the strongest. So if you put a light dome like the newer one on there, you have a higher chance of it falling over. And not to mention, this is very important, if you do product photography and you like your light to hang directly over the product, you have problems with that. Like this shot I took with it, I couldn't do that. I had to use a drum stand and put the end on here and hang it over, and that works better. This thing is heavy. It's really a heavy duty light stand, and that worked much better than the one that was sent with it because I could directly hang it over, and you couldn't do that with that one. So keep that in mind. If you do product photography, you need to have different stands. But quality overall, I think the light is fantastic. The light output we're gonna get into, and I definitely think quality-wise, they're great. Okay, let's get into the second part of this, output. So I know some of you are probably thinking, what? Quentin, come here. You gotta talk to you closer. A light's a light, right? What does it matter? Like, no. No, a light is not just a light. You have things like Kelvin and CRI that are really important when you're doing video, when you're taking photos. You don't want magenta spikes or green spikes like you. We don't want Sony looking colors all the time. That's funny. I can say that because I'm a Sony user. So the Kelvin scale of this light is 5600 Kelvin. So if we look at the scale right here, right? 5600 Kelvin. That's where you want to be for a lot of lights. Right at that daylight, right where the sun sits. in Kelvin is described as the higher you go, it's the bluer the light. So if you're looking at like 10,000, you're looking at like the blue sky, and if you're looking at downwards toward the 1,000, it's like candlelight, right? So it's the red to the blue, and when you get into the mix, it becomes white, and that is mid-daylight, 12 o'clock, and that's where this light sits. So output-wise, I think these lights are fantastic. They look really, really good with skin tones. They look great with product photography, and they cast those nice shadows, especially when you have a light box on. Fantastic. All right, let's get into it. Number 3, problems. I really like the lights as a whole, but there's one thing that really kind of bugs me when I use them, and that's fan noise. I talked about fan noise earlier. You know what? I'll show you. Grab this, turn it on. Like, the fan noise with these lights are not great, and it's really kind of disappointing. Like, you hear how loud this is. It's so loud. Like, oh. I'm just playing. This is a fan. Look at that. Like, I had you fooled. But yeah, seriously though, the fans are noisy. They're not bad. Not at all. Like, if I turn this on, the actual light, the fan's running. You hear it? As a whole, I love the lights, and fan noise is one thing that you can edit out in video, so that's not my biggest concern. But the problem actually comes to when you're doing professional shoots, right? So if you do corporate interviews, things like that, and you throw someone in a small room, now you have fan noise in the background that's editable, but why not just try to get that removed in the first place? That's my philosophy. Why say we'll edit it in post when you can say let's just fix it now and not have to worry about it in post? So that's the toss-up. Where do you come into that? The other options are HMIs or LED panels, and those are great options. The HMIs can be really expensive, but panels are great lights. I like that softbox. You know, throw that softbox on, it just looks really, really nice. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with it. So that's that. The lights as a whole are great. So we move into the last part of this. Would I recommend these lights to you? Yeah. I definitely would recommend these lights. I think that as a whole, they are fantastic. The output looks great. I'm still very pleased with what I have right here. I love how they look. So as I said, the kit is it's a great kit. And one of the perks that I didn't mention is the fact that it comes with a bag. And man, it's a nice bag. Like, it's a pretty nice bag. But no, it is though. It's a nice bag. It really helps make sure that you have something to put it in to protect it. And you can put your stands, your diffusers, your lights, your cords, you can put it all in there. And there's still some room for some other things and really kind of help complete the package. So before we wrap this thing up, I want to say again, Interfit Photo, thank you. I really appreciate you guys taking a chance. You guys are definitely taking a risk sending me these, and I hope it pays off. I really have enjoyed using these. Both from the photography standpoint and the video. They're great lights, and yeah, thanks. But hey, give me a thumbs up, hit that red button that says subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, then I'm gonna post, and you're not gonna see that I posted, and you're gonna be like, you posted and didn't tell me? And I'll be like, whoa guys, back up. I posted, put it on social media, you should have seen it because you had the dinger on. You didn't have the dinger on, you didn't get the ding, and then you have to give me a ring to find out that the dinger wasn't on, so then you can get a ding. Man, I'm like a poet, and I didn't even know it. Make sure to hit that, and I will see you in my next video. Whew! Peace!